Hello everybody and welcome to this, and I want to give my general thoughts or my hopes for Doom Eternal, because this is obviously the sequel to a game that I think is perfect, that I had a hell of a lot of fun with, and I'm sure obviously millions of other people did, but it's going to be very hard to beat the predecessor, because it was just so finely tuned, and the level design and everything just fit perfectly with that game. So it's going to be really hard to top it, which I think they'll do with the story. I know a lot of people don't like that fact, or maybe it seems exacerbated by the media, because a lot of pretentious gaming journalists will say, "Oh, there's too much talking in my Doom. I don't want talking in my Doom," and yet they, responded well to the main protagonist, the Doom guy, kind of having a personality, but they don't want to see that kind of made more dynamic and kind of extrapolated on that. So I'm kind of looking forward to that, because I think that will kind of help, obviously, the brand and the franchise, and I don't see, and maybe possibly make it a trilogy that has an arc and has a bit more of a dynamic storytelling element, for lack of a better term. So obviously the story, I'm kind of, so I'm looking forward to that, and kind of finally getting a backstory on the Doom guy, or at least his motivations and who he is, or at least hear him talk or see him or have some kind of development. And obviously there's the grapple gun, and you can obviously mount more, shit on the guy, and a shoulder-mounted flamethrower. So obviously more features and just things to create mayhem. And I do appreciate the game too, because it's not just about the loot and the progression and the beanies and all that shit you unlock. It's about like the joy of play in the moment. So I think that's fundamentally like why we play games, but I think we kind of got caught up in the live service element and the loot based. It's all about the reward and progression, and not so much like, yeah, the game to game, the moment to moment gameplay is fun, but it's all about like the loot and everything like that. And I'm kind of hoping that Doom maybe abstains from that, not going down the path that Ubisoft did with Far Cry New Dawn, because it was a continuation of Far Cry 5, but it was kind of disjointed in the fact that it was kind of went by a leveling tier system, and your gun you basically had to cross-reference. Well, that's how every type of looter shooter, like you have level-based weapons, and they have to be equivocal with the enemy type that you're fighting, or they're going to be more difficult. So I mean, like, the loot thing is fun. I love Diablo as much as the next guy, but sometimes you just want to be able to shoot something one or two times and have the consequential effects of what would really happen if you shot something. So that's all well and good. So I'm just hoping it stands out, and there's something about it that came from the delay, the 4 or 5 months. I'm kind of eager to see this is going to be a much beefier game. There's going to be a lot more to it, given the development time, and I just hope it does as well as the first one. I think we can all agree on that. The guys at id, they know what they're doing. It's in good hands, and they probably are potentially fleshing out the multiplayer, because they realize how lucrative multiplayer is, and they probably had the base story done, and maybe the inclusion of multiplayer, it was already going to be there, but adding new features and kind of, to make it consistent, or at least compete with the likes of which, maybe adding a battle royale Doom mode. Who knows? Like, it seems everybody and their dog is doing battle royale, but that's what's trendy still, and who knows how long that's gonna stick around. But I am having fun with Warzone. I think it's an interesting take on battle royale, especially with the gulag, which is a lot of fun. It kind of gives you a second win, but I'm sure that pissed somebody off. But no, I think I'm looking forward to it, and I do apologize for the crudeness and the rudimentary shoddiness of this video. I want to kind of get into video editing and inject gameplay over talking points and so on and so forth. But yeah, no, and again, to anybody that subscribed, thank you. I'll do my best to stay consistent with the content, and we'll go from there. But yeah, thanks again, and take care.